Because there's so many people that read books and they don't take any action.
Yeah, well, and reading is awesome. I don't think people read enough, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I mean, not like people. If you want a superpower, read one book a week. One book a week, and start with either Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill or The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino. And I don't care if you're a salesman or not. Every human being should read The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino. If you read this book and actually read it and understand it and do it, it will change your life forever.
Wow.
Forever. It is the one gift book that I'm like, man, this book really helped me become me.
It's about sales?
No, it has nothing to do with sales.
Wow.
Don't judge a book by its cover, right? Don't. But I think people do not. You guys are not reading enough. Learning is not sitting in a spaces and on X listening to so-called experts that you don't even know if they're experts. Like, check out your sources. Really careful. Do not take advice from anyone that doesn't have seniority over you. I do not listen to anyone that doesn't have more money than me.
Really?
About money? No chance. Okay? I don't talk to people about relationships who aren't happily married. Like, hello, why would I ask that guy, right?
Right.
I've been married 3 times. I have never asked my wife about an investment. I've never married an investment expert. My wife has no clue what I do, and I'm not even going to ask her. It's none of her business. This is my job to take care of the family. Right?
So you don't talk about business at all with your wife?
No.
Wow.
Never.
So
It's
people
awesome.
totally separated.
Well, I'm not married anymore, but yeah, I don't ask her about her expertise. Okay. I don't interfere with whatever her deal is. If she knows about something else, I don't get into it. So again, I'm very focused. But I see people going to their parents, asking them for financial advice, and their parents have $70,000 in the bank.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would you listen to him? Okay. You need to be diversified, son. Oh, really? How'd that work out for you, Dad? Because you're broke, Dad. Okay. Like, diversity is not the way to make money. It's the way to protect money. People that diversify have lost their conviction on what it is they're doing. And it's okay. Maybe you got lucky. Maybe you're like, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to have a conviction. I like these games. But some people, they make $100 million. They're like, I'm done, man. I'm just going to invest in real estate and do some of this and get my little dividends. That's awesome. But diversification, you cannot show me one human being other than those who inherited it. And I would say they were not diversified.
Yeah.
They inherited it. There is not one story of anyone that got super rich diversifying. In fact, Warren Buffett was so smart, along with his buddy Bill Gates. Warren talked Bill out of diversifying out of Microsoft. If he wouldn't have done that, he would be the richest guy in the world. Now that's interesting.
That is interesting.
Okay. He literally talked Bill into diversifying. Funny that story, because Warren ended up having 72% of his entire portfolio for stocks.
Really?
And everybody thinks Warren's Mr. Diversity.
Wow.
Extremely concentrated investor. Extremely concentrated. He actually has it's a really good message for you guys. He says, hey, he tells his students, think that over your lifetime, you will only ever be able to make 10 investments, 10 decisions in your whole lifetime. If you make 3 of them right, you'll be fine.
Interesting.
And that has been 90% of all the stuff I've done. I shouldn't have done any of it. It was a waste of energy. It was the heavy duty stuff, the stuff that could really hold my attention, and extreme concentration.
I like what you said at the very beginning about being a CEO and how hard it is, because I think entrepreneurship is glorified these days.
Yeah, one of the hardest things in the world to do, okay? Like, most people are not cut out for it. And if they are cut out for it mentally, they're not cut out for it experientially. I was not ready
All right, guys, Sean Kelly here, host of the Digital Social Hour podcast. Just filmed 33 amazing episodes at Student Action Summit. Shout out to Code Health, sponsor of these episodes, but also I took them before filming each day. Felt amazing. Just filmed 20 episodes straight, and I'm not even tired, honestly. So Code Health, amazing products. I also take these at home, especially when I traveled. I used to get sick every time I flew, and I started taking that. First time, I haven't had a runny nose, knock on wood. One standout element, it's so easy. You got the travel pack here, but you could just take this, fit it in your pocket if you need to. Also, all natural, only saline solution in there. So you don't got to worry about any crazy side effects or anything. Yeah, Code's unique. With supplements, there's a lot of who knows what's in those ingredients. Code Health, I haven't seen much like this, where it's just based off the codes that are in the saline solution. So I would say they're very unique. It's going to be the future of health and medicine. Code Health has been awesome.
Feel the drop and go code yourself.
People, you've been a CEO your whole life. I was extremely immature. And until about 34, I was massively ill-equipped to be a CEO.
Wow.
Massively ill-equipped.
34.
Yeah. And then I was in England for 4 years too, but I was just immature and I was unskilled in certain areas. There's things I didn't know, but I was good at a couple of things. And that carried me through. Making money, I've always been really good at, turning the wheel. But I think the other thing is that I'm a really good CEO between 0 and 100 people. At about 150 people, I become, as soon as HR shows up, I need to leave. Really, it becomes too programmed, and we start settling for the medium. And I actually just want to hang around with champions. I have zero interest in hanging around with mediocrity. I've never been that mediocre guy. I don't want to be the mediocre guy. There's plenty of people that can do accounting better than me and do meetings and speak and do all types of things. I'm good at a few things, and I just think you let your champions go champion and let the people that serve champions, the followers and the servants, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. I was a soldier, warrior, water carrier for many, many years. And then one day you wake up and you go, hey, I'm the chief now. But I know how to carry water too. And you would love working for me because you're like, oh, wow, he's been in the trenches, man.
Yeah.
He knew the guy's response before I even went to the meeting. Jerry was like, oh, I told you that was going to happen. And that's really valuable to have somebody there that's, empathetic, a la understanding, but also is pushing you.
Yeah.
I need somebody to push. If left on my own,
Even right now?
Oh, even today.
Wow.
This lady that's working with me, her job is to push me.
Wow.
Hey, man, get my schedule. Manage me. See, I need to be managed.
Is that that's not due to lack of motivation though? What is that, you think?
I really don't know what it is, other than I know that I work better when I'm in a smaller team and I am managed, that I'm more responsible to someone else than I am myself in a way.
Interesting.
Problem with guys like me is I have a daughter that's like me, and we can make a lot of mistakes.
Because you're moving so fast.
Well, I can make up for a lot of mistakes.
Right.
That's the problem. I can catch up quick. I'm okay with making mistakes because I am really, really comfortable with fixing them. What I'm not comfortable with doing is seeing an opportunity go by and I didn't play with it. That's really painful for me.
Right.
Seeing seeing Bitcoin and not taking a part of this, I couldn't sleep at night.
Yeah.
I literally would go to sleep every night going, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You knew this was going to happen. This is going to become $100 trillion asset.
Damn.
In my lifetime.
That's a 50x from
We will hit $1 million in the next 4 years.
No way.
We will be a $15 trillion industry within 4 years.
Wow.
Which is a little bit less than $1 million.
That's nuts, man. That is so nuts. So you're going to become a billionaire.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think the way Max Kaiser talks about it is cotillionaire. Cotillionaire means you're so close to a new event that the shift of power and money changes because you're so close to that innovative moment.
Yeah.
I think it's an awesome cotillionaire. Most certainly, the trajectory of the Cardone name because of Bitcoin, and I do include my brother in it. My brother is going to make more money than he's ever made.
Really? More off real estate?
It's gonna blow his mind.
He became a billionaire off real estate.
It's gonna absolutely blow his mind. Watch what happens.
Wow.
He will be staggered. And this generation of investor that's coming in here, you watch him because he is a subsection. I was before him. I'm always I'm a little crazy. Well, I'm not very conservative.
No.
It doesn't mean that I'm crazy. It just means I'm willing to really open my mind up to a lot of different things. And he's like hyper focused, and he will not lose any money. I mean, we go to casino together. He's betting 25 and I'm betting a little bit more than that. But his conviction, because of his ability to do this action thing, okay, I'll buy 100. Okay, I'll buy 150. Okay, I'll buy 1,000. And as he gets positive feedback from it,
Yeah.
wow, I like that. He just keeps going, right? And he starts winding up very fast. These people will not take the time to go, I'm going to check, wait back 4 years. I'm going to deploy 2%. Let's do a chunk.
Wherever you guys are watching this show, I would truly appreciate it if you follow or subscribe. It helps a lot with the algorithm. It helps us get bigger and better guests, and it helps us grow the team. Truly means a lot. Thank you guys for supporting, and here's the episode.